and everything's off for tea.
And a very good evening. Normally it's the morning or the afternoon, but tonight, a very good evening to you. Welcome to the fourth of A Cup of Tea with Mr. G. And I've had various people on, but tonight I'm very, very excited because it's the first time I have a comedian. I couldn't ask for anybody better than this gentleman. Would you please welcome the one and only Mr. Paul Eastwood? How are you, Paul?
Oh, mate.
Hello?
Isn't it weird? Like,
Paul?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Are you there, Paul?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Paul?
I can hear you.
Well, just while we're waiting for our connection to balance out here, if you've got the comment...
Yeah, I am. I'm there. Are you here? Can you hear me?
Oh, we got the gremlins. You got the...
Yeah, we have.
I can hear you. That's brilliant. If you've got the comments button on your screen, be so kind as to just drop a comment to say hi to Paul. I'll read these out as we go along. I'm sure there's lots and lots of your mates in the business who just want to say hello. I've got a couple of comments coming through here, and we've got David Hewlett and also Bill White. So I'll call them out as we go along. Thank you so much indeed for taking the time to speak to me this evening. Can I just ask you, how many of these podcasts and webinars, whatever you want to call them, how many of these do you do?
Well, Mr. G, firstly, thanks for having me on. And
my pleasure.
Lovely to meet you, finally. Because, well, we've never... Isn't it ironic how you feel you got an association with someone and you know them, but you've never actually... We've only met briefly once at a showcase, but we were both preoccupied. It's just really weird, isn't it?
It is.
But exactly, these things have passed me by as well, mate. These Zoom things, these interviews, they've just. It's all of a sudden. My dear friend Stephen, who runs the Keeping Variety Live, said you should do some. And you know we were live, don't we? Live. And
yeah,
I've actually enjoyed them, but I've probably only done 2 or 3. I've done a couple of podcasts, but nothing to write home about. You know, I think it's probably me that listens to them and the other people that have done them. There's nobody else listens to them.
I was going to ask you, Paul, if you had done a lot of these, what was the question you get asked the most?
Probably, and I hate to say it, Chris, it's the controversy, because we're in changing times now, more so at the moment with what's acceptable, what's not, comedy material, how you think after this COVID, because we've gone through times with COVID, with the Black Lives Matter and all that, and how material is going to... People are becoming very sensitive now, aren't they? People are scared of their own shadow. And whether when we come out of this, which we will, whether it will change the material or the type of stuff that comedians can perform live, you know, and that's probably
and also
the question, because you know I've got a bit of
Sorry, yeah, you carry on there, Paul. I've got a slight delay there, but you were going to say you got a minute controversy with what?
I got in a little bit of controversy many years ago with in Torquay. I did a show. It was just a booking. We all do bookings with it, and it was quite reasonable money. And it was for the UKIP party. I didn't know. And then this was on the Friday night. By the Sunday morning, I was headlines of the newspaper. I was all over the newspapers because by association, I was involved with the UKIP party, which was all complete rubbish. And it ruined everything for a short space of time. It became very exciting when you're on page news, but then the excitement wore off and it became a bit terrifying, you know, because it didn't go away. It rolled on and on and on. But I have a great opinions on this, you know, material. Funny's funny. We don't set out to offend anybody, but people always want to complain, don't they? You know.
Danny Postal, I think, is an absolutely brilliant impressionist, and up the impressionist is what I say. But I think I read on a post that he does a fantastic Diane Abbott impression, and he got into trouble with that, and somebody said, "Oh, you can't do that." Well, why can't you do an impression of Diane Abbott?
Yeah, he was talking to Jim Davidson about it. The person who said that he got in the debate about said you don't couldn't explain why. You just can't. Well, no, but I'm interested. Why? Because she's a black woman. Yeah, but I do white women and I do black men and I do so if there is any by picking these people out and not impersonating them, then you're singling them out, aren't you? That
Yeah,
makes it
but
more offensive.
there's so many great black women. You know, there's
yeah.
I can't get my head around it either. Paul, I'm going to ask you a question. I want to take you back and tell me what sort of kid you were. What sort of kid were you?
God. Well, hopefully not like my son now. He's 3. We've just managed to get him asleep before this, and he's just kicked off because he wanted my iPad, my pods. He saw him, wanted them. We had to get them on. What sort of kid was I? Shy and retiring, really?
Well, that's quite an unusual answer. I wasn't expecting that.
Very shy, retiring, and very, I think, a little bit what they describe as probably a bit of a mamby-pamby. Bit of a, is that politically correct? Can you say that without?
I don't know. I'll have a word with Boris. Boris, can we say no?
Yeah.
Of course, mamby-pamby is the sort of thing that we are trying to stamp out. So keep safe. Keep indoors and keep not being a mamby-pamby. Stop saying it. So I really am surprised being a mamby-pamby. Because here you are doing the hardest job in the world.
And I wasn't funny. Yeah. Yeah. Let me just ask you, it's a cup of tea, Mr. G.
Yeah.
I ain't got
But it's
tea.
not really. I've got cider in mine.
All right.
I've got cider in here.
All right.
What happened was, Paul, that the shop ran out of tea. So they said, I can give us some cider. So I thought that would do it. I put it in my teacup and nobody would be none the wiser, apart from the fact I've just told everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you've gone from being a member. Did you actually find that comedy was something you could actually lose yourself in and listen to comedy?
I suppose I used to watch you remember you used to go to a video shop. Of course, you remember shop, you'd hire a video for £1 or something for a night. And I used to hire the ones at the top, the Jim Davisons, Bernard Mannings. They were next to the naughty ones, the adult ones, because they were 18 plus. And you used to go, all right, well, I can rent that. And then I'd watch these people, the great comics, that obviously now the stuff that they were doing then is now not acceptable, but because times change. But you used to watch the stuff then and think, these guys holding the attention of an audience for 2 hours or an hour on a video, you just think that's incredible. But I had no slant towards show business. I failed the audition for the Amateur Dramatics Association. Didn't do anything really. I used to do magic shows as a child for the other kids. That was my first thing, magic, But I've got a love of magic as well. Terrible at it.
I used to do magic as well. I had an Indian guy at school, and we formed a magic act. And because I love magic so much, I knew that some of the great magicians, they had it's very much like Penn and Teller. They had the assistant who didn't speak. So this was the whole magic act. And I'd have him all dressed up in Indian robes and stuff like this. And I'd been tails and everything. And we didn't have any music, and people thought that there was something wrong with us. They thought we'd actually come from, this was our day out from it was very ill thought out. Yes, you can't mention place. You can't. No,
place. I don't know what
family and that. You don't know what to say now, do you? It's like self-editing.
I was talking someone interviewed me about TV now, about how it's all changed, about probably what have you still got aspirations to do TV? And I know the only chance I'd ever touch on TV now is probably a game show, but I think that's time is ticking. for that. But anyway, I was asked to comment on our TV, and I was talking about that. Is it the Repair Shop that's really popular? It's a show.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's the way, isn't it? They make TV shows. They're cheap to make, and it's the public entertaining the public, like reality TV.
Yeah.
It's cheap, and
Yeah.
I said I've got into that from the Repair Shop. I mean, hours I spend down the end of the garden in the shed rubbing up an old puff. And the guy went,
Boris, come back.
So, and obviously,
And there's more.
You know, he's gone completely nuts. This bloke, like, no. I said, what do you mean no? I said the whole premise of comedy is double meaning. It's double. You know, when you work the cruise ships you work, they don't trust on your cruise ships. But when I work, because you've still got to make it, it's still got to be relatively clean, and it's all about what the audience do with the joke, isn't it? They do what they want with it. It's clean when it leaves the stage.
Yeah, but I think you're a very, very clever comedian, because your personality from school. Then you've created this comic character or style of comedy. So how did you go from school, from being, you know, a very quiet kid, to the persona that you have on stage, which is just, people were so excited the fact that you're coming on the show today, because they think you're absolutely awesome, which you are, but you have a very distinctive style. And how did you actually build that style?
Well, you have to learn, don't you, from it's the only thing you have to fail at it while you're learning, don't you? That's the way to learn. So I had a dear manager for a short time called Barry Dyer, you know Barry, in Ipswich, and I said to him after I was a Haven mate on the holiday centres, I just rang him and said, I'm a comedian, and he went, are you? I went, yeah, I am, yeah. And he went, all right, okay, well, I've just finished a relationship with Shane Ritchie. He's done quite well, so I'll have a look at you. So he put me on as a comedian on a Valentine's night in a marquee, and said, yeah, well, you're not, are you? And I said, well, no, but and I said, but you know, everyone loves a trier. And he went, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll put you in the talent shows. So I developed these. I went through about 15 styles of comedy before I found the sort of what's abrasive, aggressive, dislikable character that I have now on stage. I went through loads. I was doing Ken Goodwin. I was doing a laughing thing, laughing at my own jokes, like giggling at all my jokes. Like, was that Ken Goodwin used to laugh at his own jokes? Settle down now.
Settle down now. Settle down.
yeah, that is him. Yeah. So but it should be, because that's your job, isn't it? So, and Barry went, that doesn't suit you. So then I did I went for silly styles of having these weird sort of movements, and then I just settled for suddenly that was the Carry On bloke, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jack Douglas.
That guy. Yeah, and nothing worked. So Barry just said, why not try being yourself? And I thought, God, I don't need to be doing that really, but that's how it ended up. So I think if you're closer to yourself, because an audience like honesty, is that the right thing? They like you to be true to yourself, don't they? I think.
I think when people say, difference between a comedian and an impressionist, well, I could never be a comedian, because I think a true comedian. Oh, I've got a comment up here then. Quite extraordinary, Paul. Somebody has just said, Paul Eastwood, a quiet kid. I do not believe it. Extraordinary. And that was from Simon Ledger. Doesn't believe you're a quiet kid. But when people say about being a comedian, I think a true comedian. I think a true comedian is somebody who just views the world, and they talk about the world as they see it, and what makes them laugh and what makes them angry. Yeah. And so, as opposed to impressionists, where we do it's a whole different sort of slant as to, we take somebody and then obviously try and make them funny. So I don't think I could ever be a comedian like you are, because you are a true comedian and a fantastic comedian, and just the number of people, the plaudits go before you, because this style that you have is totally unique, I think.
Yeah, I mean, people have said. I mean, obviously, you go for the people you've watched, don't you? And I do like the people that just can go and just talk. It's an hour just talking, just a microphone, and I do try and just do that. And it is tough sometimes, and it goes either ways because I don't write it down. I have a sort of little bit of a plan, but I don't write the show. I don't know what comes after what. So you are in the hands of the audience, really. So when you know you get if you get the tough nights, you think, bloody, I wish I planned something because if you've planned it, you can just go through it, can't you? And you know.
But it's the hardest thing, Paul, is to work off an audience. I know people like Monkhouse.
Yeah.
Bob Monkhouse, he could be in an audience and just be able to feed off the audience, and then suddenly, yes, says something, and his brain.
Yeah,
his brain must have been split second, but your brain must be split second in regards to being able to think on your feet. And if you haven't got anything, when I say you haven't got anything planned, you've got stuff planned, but the feed off the audience is a big part of your style, would you say?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And Monkhouse always used to say you have to have 3 lines for every single eventuality. So he'd had a Rolodex, 3 jokes for everything that could possibly happen. So he just have to. His thinking time was going through that Rolodex, going right. A lady's just said she's from, what did he say? What was what? It was live at the lakeside or something. And lady, what's your name? Marine. Her name was Marie or Marine. He said, I've always wanted to be in the Marines. But it wasn't like there's no way he planned that. That was just in there within 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Fantastic.
Boom. And it's not a great example of his work, but how that's a great skill. But there are people. There people are doing that now. That's the way people work. But comics, I think, to take and also something happening for an audience for the first time. You're one for always doing new characters. And, also the way you've rebranded the show. You do a show for that sort of audience. You do a show for the cruise audience. I think I saw you at the showcase when we briefly met. It was a tough showcase audience, but you'd rechanged your show to suit that holiday market. Yeah. And you were doing there was a lady.
Yeah. When my wife was alive. Hello? Are you there, Paul? Hopefully you haven't gone. Oh, are you there? When my wife was alive... All right. When my wife was alive, she said, right, you got to go and do another showcase. I said, okay, so where are you going to go? Viva Blackpool. And so we're up to Viva Blackpool, and my corky, Mrs. G, she went to the bar, and Ray Martin, lovely Ray Martin, was there. He goes, what's your lad done to upset you so much that you put him to do comedy in a showcase with this lot here? She goes, oh, it'd be good for him. And so therefore, as you said, I had to really just change it. And I knew it was going to be because you looked at the program and you thought, but no comedy. It was me and El Loco. I think we were the only 2 people who were doing comedy. And the noise of it, and you think, because you can't be seen, can't be heard, you're on your back foot. But it was, I did it, and I some very nice people wrote some very nice things. So, but I think you got to do that. You just got to go and not be frightened and just get out there and do it.
Do they scare the hell out of you like me, though? Oh, we got a message. Simon,
here we got a message. I can't wait to get Mr. Eastwood down to the Isle of Wight, but in a club, not Warner's this time, so I can show him off to the Islanders. There we go.
But it sounds like he's going to parade me in sort of a gimp costume or something. Yeah, I got it, but it just sounds like he's going to parade me through the streets, show me to the island, and
hail to the comic they call Mr. Eastwood. It'd be like the Wicker Man. They'll have you up in a basket on the
first.
On the top of the castle.
Mate, I wanted to say, whether it's how sorry we all are about with your news, and congratulations you for being throwing yourself into what you're best at and filling your time. And
well, that's very good. And I'll tell you, the amount of love and support I've had from people in the business, friends, family, honestly, it knocked me sideways, because Lindy was my Corky was my manager as well, and so you're so used to, you know, your good lady. Does she give you honest feedback?
Yeah, she does. She's allowed to speak to me occasionally. She can't look me in the eye, but I do let her. She does certainly give me honest feedback. But she's also developed sort of a thing called a sense of humour, which I'm not keen on. She said, well, there was the other night, I said, I just do a gag of the month, and it's a thing that Stephen Medler said you should do, and I do it. I do a couple of topical gags. And I said, it's only got so many, because it's passed me by all this. I said, it's only got 600 views. The last one got 1,000. She said, that's because it's crap. I went, I beg your pardon. And I was going to launch myself across the kitchen.
Wow.
But you need very, very honest. If you're not getting honest feedback from the people close, it's very
good. The thing I miss the most, Paul, is that my Corky would say to me, if we're on a ship together or on land together, the last thing she'd say when I was all suited and booted in my stage outfit, she goes, right, have a good show and don't be shite. And even if I was in India on a cruise ship, she would text it to me, have a good show, don't be shite. And so I'm going to miss that, but I'm going to have to get a little picture. I'm going to have to put a word thing on it to say, don't be shite. I have to put that on my dressing room table before I go on stage. So listen, talking about shows, and I'm going to ask you, because it's very, very exciting, what you've got in here, Waves of Laughter, Comedy Extravaganza.
Oh, mate,
now, you have got 27th of August, 2021. Hopefully you can see that. It's a little bit small, but talk me through this.
Well, what the PI Entertainment is a thing I created. I'm not going to bore people with this, and I'm not plugging it either. I'm
plugging it.
You know, people will be dying to get out. But thank you. But the PI Entertainment is Pie Entertainment. It's supposed to be a very tenuous reference to custard pie, as in putting a custard pie. But my initials are Paulie and Eastwood, and we've created a brand. And I started doing the odd local golf club, and they said, "Can you put a comedy night on? Host it, and just get a couple of your mates, tell us how much it is, and we'll sell the tickets." So we're doing this now. We've got 100 private clients, which are community centres, village halls, golf clubs, leisure centres, and then we do the theatre stuff, which is the bigger stuff.
Right.
Which is
I'm going to call these ones out. 27th of August, 2021, the Pavilion Theatre in Galston. And you've got on there your good self, Richard Morton, and also Phil Reid. And then I think we've got on the 24th of September, Leiston. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Leiston. Leiston. Yeah, that's correct, mate.
Great impressionist. The great impressionist Danny Postel. Fantastic. Also, you got another face there, and that's Jenny Collier, I think. Jenny Collier.
Jenny Collier, yeah. And then because what we're doing,
talk to me. Tell me, Tiz. Talk to me.
We're mixing the variety, the variety acts, which I'd say a traditional act like myself, but we're also using the guys off the what they say is the alternative circuit. Although there's a very grey area now. I think funny's funny. If you're funny, you're funny. Or you can, whether you're talking about politics or but we've got these people. Rich Morton was the original support act for Lee Evans, Joe Brand, and he's just incredible. And then you got Jack there on this one. Jack is a northern guy that's a very Joe Pasquale style act. Yep.
What is doing that a Joe Pasquale act, is he? What, a Joe Pasquale act? You did.
Don't say that, Joe.
What?
No. And, that's a great Welsh name, isn't it? Caris Nelms, isn't it lovely? I've got another one here. One of my favourite entertainers, Mandy Mooden, and Steve Hewlett. Yeah, well, I've never worked with Mandy. I've never met Mandy. Another lady I've never met. I've had the pleasure to work with the fantastic Steve Hewlett, and he mentioned the other day about having a book called "I Got the Gear" by Ray Allen, and I just ordered it on Amazon because fantastic act, fantastic. So
you do an impression,
let me
don't
ask
you? You do Ray Allen. Do you do Ray in your
Ray Allen and Lord Charles?
You do that, which I thought.
Here we go. So, hello, how are you? No, silly ass, silly ass. This is little Johnny. Hello, Johnny. How are you, Governor? He said, Governor. No, he didn't. He did. He just said, how are you, Governor? No, he didn't, you silly ass. I'm closer to him than you are.
That's
Brilliant.
exactly what I sound like when I finish this bottle of wine.
Now listen, Paul. I can never get this around the right. I always love to give a big shout out. Now a little ticker tape here. There we have pieentertainment@hotmail.com. To find out more about you, find out more about the shows. That's who they need to contact. Yeah,
but just go on Facebook. Well, Facebook. It's Paul Eastwood comedian on the Facebook.
Great.
That's it. Paul Eastwood comedian on the Facebook.
Paul Eastwood,
I'm on your page.
Go to
I'm on your page.
Right. Well, listen, I've got to go and recharge my cup of tea. I've got to go and recharge my cup of tea, cider.
All right.
Tea, cider, my cup of tea and my cider. When do you think, before we wrap things up, what's your plan of when things are going to come back? You get asked this question a lot, so forgive me if I'm asking the same thing, but what's your crystal ball?
No.
Look, I've got mine here. Look, there we are. That's how I'm telling the future.
Right.
My crystal ball.
And what did that?
What's your views?
Because I went to one of those. When I went to there's two things I've done with a view to getting a plan. I spoke to my hairstylist today, and I said I need to see you, and she gave me a definite date, and I said, can I have a ponytail? And she said, once upon a time, a pony went to the seaside. So, the other thing is, someone said to me right at the beginning, nothing's going to happen internationally until people have had the 2 jabs. Yeah. Right. So the prediction is, because you know as well, Warners have been absolutely incredible through this whole thing. As soon as they can get us back to work, they get us back to work. Yeah. They change all the rules. Boris changes the rules. They build bigger screens. They put more arrows down. They've done so that they're, I reckon, realistically, cruise wise, the UK cruises, by mid-June. UK work, well, it starts May, doesn't it? Social distances outside gigs are in May. So Simon Ledger will know, because Simon Ledger's got his finger.
Let me see if there's we got more. Let me put my glasses back. You say about the jab. Right. Somebody gave Donald Trump a jab followed by a right uppercut. Let's have a look at the comments, shall we? Right. I've got this one that says I don't know what that means. I've got somebody who says that's meant to say you're the best. You're the best. Better than all the rest. Right. So that was from a Facebook. I don't know who that is. Love that Chris Silias. That's obviously somebody who likes Ray Allen. We've got another one here. Good to see you, gents. I presume that's us, and they're not in the town and just desperate to go somewhere. Another Facebook, brilliant. I've got this one here. Nice one, fellas. Oh, I'm losing it. Just a minute. I'm disappearing. All right. Do these ever fall out of your ears? Do these fall out of your ears? Because they keep running out of mine, dropping out.
They did on the first time. My wife got me these for Christmas just before things kicked off, and I went on a long flight. And I went to sleep, and I woke up, and because I knew that she'd got these, she said, "Don't lose those; they're expensive." And I woke up on this long flight, and they'd both gone. And I was going to do like shut the flight down. Someone's nicked me flipping here, shut the flight, and I just looked, and there was one over there. You know how you sleep on an aeroplane, where you wake up and your head in the lap of the bloke next to you.
Listen, Paul, it's been I've loved chatting to you. Hopefully next time I meet you, then we'll be able to perhaps have a pint and a good chat about comedy. I just love talking about comedy. I love talking to comedy entertainers. You bring an awful lot of pleasure into people's lives, and it's been far too long for you to be off the circuit. Like all us entertainers, we just can't wait to get back and do what we're meant to do, and that's to put a smile on people's faces. So thank you.
Yeah.
Love to you. Love to your family. I'm gonna take you off the screen.
All right. Well, it's good. God bless to you and all the people watching, mate, and stay strong.
Thank you ever so much. Cheerio, Paul. God bless. Well, thank you very much indeed, Paul. I really enjoyed chatting to Paul. What a lovely, lovely fella and a great act. On Friday morning at 10 o'clock, I'll be chatting to Anna Ray. Now, Anna, a lovely singer from the Northeast, and she has anagrams, which is a fantastic concept during this very, very tough time. And Anna has taken her beautiful voice, and she's just put some happiness into people's lives, and it's been incredible. So I'm going to be chatting to Anna with a cup of tea, Mr. G, on Friday, this Friday coming at 10 o'clock. Just a quick shout out. Thank you to all the people who have been bidding. As you know, myself and Rose Cook Month, we're raising money for two charities. One is Corky's Hospital Charity, and the other is Rose's charity, the Duncan Edwards Foundation. If you love stylish clothes, as Lord Sugar would say, there's no tut, right? There's no tut, right? It's nice, good stuff, right? We have got on Memories of Mrs. G Facebook page. Just go to that, and you'll see all the lots which we have actually put up. Very, very low starting bids. Okay, so there'll be great presents, and you can get them at absolute bargain. And all that money, I mean, 100%. 100. I'm going like Donald Trump again. 100%, 100%, 100% of all that money is going to the two charities. So please support that. And also, you've still got time to enter. It's only £10 a ticket, and you might win 2 VIP tours of Old Trafford, including lunch. So that's a great prize for only £10. And if you win it, don't think, oh, I'm not going to be able to use it because of the lockdown. No. We've extended the expiry date. And also, if you do win it and you want to give it to somebody as a present, a Christmas present, birthday present, you can do that as well. So all the details on that are on Memories of Mrs. G, the Facebook page. Thank you so much to all those people who've tuned in. Thank you so much indeed for the comments. It's been absolutely brilliant there, and I try and show them as we go along. Good to see you too, Bill. I wish you a pleasant rest of the evening. I've got to go and fill my cup of tea up with some more tea. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, tea, you know, especially from the West Country. So from me, Christopher G, look forward to seeing you Friday, 10 o'clock with the wonderful Anna Ray. And it's a very, very good night. And I have to, as always, and of course, this is the problem when you're actually short-sighted, I have to get the lads in the band to sign off with this. So from me, Christopher G, cheerio!
And everything's done for tea.